Coming up next on Your World.
I was shocked when I read that 80% of single parents in the United States are women.
I didn't understand why this was happening. Someone would have told me that this would have happened. I would have been like, you are lying. You're put here for a reason and for a purpose. It was a time I didn't think I would get up.
It's very vital that we co-parent correctly.
These kids didn't ask to be here. They're here, they're a blessing. Let's do what's best for them. My needs, it was out the door.
And I believe that God can restore everything that was lost, everything that was taken, and everything that was stolen.
You know, the situation or how bad it hurts, you need to do what's right for your kids. My pain helps at least one person, then all of this wasn't in vain.
Welcome to our show. In fact, let me say it this way. Welcome to your show. Before we get started, if you or someone you know is a single parent, then this show is especially for you. Now, did you know that in the United States alone, there are over 12 million single parent households? And watch this. Of those 12 million, 80% are led by single mothers. Now, when relationships end and families break up, so many emotions like loneliness, anger, and fear come into play. As these individuals face the world alone, it can lead to a whole host of tough emotions, struggles, and in some cases, calamity. Now imagine having to process all of this in front of the entire world. Today, you're going to meet Monyetta Shaw. You may know her as an author or from the nationally televised show Atlanta Exes. Or maybe you are familiar with her from the very public and very dramatic breakup with famed R&B artist Ne-Yo. All of that left Monyetta with an enormous amount of pressure to raise their kids, maintain a solid and moral foundation, all while dealing with the heartache of what could have been. Now, maybe you feel that way today. What could have been? Maybe you are struggling through the pressure of being a single mom right now. How do you navigate it all? Well, when an earth-shattering event like the breakup of your family is in the public eye, it changes everything. How do you protect your children? How do you protect yourself? Today, we're going into the world, inside the world of Monyetta Shaw, and we're going to get answers to all of these questions and more. I'm Creflo Dollar, and welcome to Your World.
Changing one life, time after time. Oh Lord, we do it all for you.
Through the trials I see, I'll always believe a new life starts with me. Oh,
Change your world today. Change is gonna come your way. Change and get an understanding. His grace will transform you.
My guest today is a very high-profile woman who has enjoyed success as an author and TV celebrity. She's experienced and continues to deal with the pain of a very public and tough breakup. And now, she's trying to get a handle on the most important role of her life, the role of being a single mom. Would you please welcome to Your World, Monyetta Shaw. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
You know, I believe what the dialogue we're going to have today is going to be something that's going to help a lot of single mothers.
Yeah.
I was shocked when I read that 80% of single parents in the United States are women.
Yes, yes.
You know, you read the tabloids, you look at the social media, and, you know, you hear all of that stuff. And I can relate, I know. Okay.
Right, yeah.
But who is Monyetta Shaw?
Monyetta Shaw. She's a God-fearing woman, a daughter, a sister, a loving mother, and just, I like to say, a normal young lady. Mm-hmm. Yes. Grew up in Shreveport, Louisiana, to a loving, loving single-parent home. Mm-hmm. And that's me. Just was raised with awesome morals and values and just old country girl. Yeah. That's me.
So family was very important to you.
Huge, still is.
I understand you're real close to your father.
Yes.
Who, anytime you need some prayer, you can call Deacon up and he'll...
Yeah, that's right. Deke Shaw.
Deke Shaw will give you a prayer. I can't begin to imagine what it was like to have your expectations up. You're engaged to be married. Mm-hmm. And all of a sudden you find that that's not going to take place. Yeah. How'd you handle that?
Honestly, it was really, really hard. And, a lot of prayer, tears. Mm-hmm. It was extremely, extremely hard, especially having two little kids. Sure. And if someone would have told me that this would have happened, I would have been like, you are lying. Mm-hmm. But it definitely happened. It was a very hard time in my life. And I didn't have the room, the energy didn't have the liberty, rather, to let the world, or especially my two M's, Madeline and Mason, see me sweat or see me cry. So I would just be super mom and keep it together, which is extremely exhausting, as you might know, until I put them down to go to bed at night. And then that's when it would all come out. So in a sense, would you say that they were your strength? Oh my gosh. In the midst of this? They were absolutely my strength. Yeah. They were my strength. Yeah. Did they notice a different dynamic, or how did you tell them that this family dynamic that you were ready to enter into had changed? Honestly, I like to say it was, they were extremely blessed because they were always used to their dad being away. He always traveled for his job. So that was the big thing, that it didn't, on that side, hurt as much, I like to think, for them, because they knew dad will come in town and then he'll be gone. He'll come for 2 days and then he'll be gone again. So honestly, it kind of just flowed. They didn't really feel that, because it wasn't like the regular, parent, dad that has a 9 to 5. Sure. And then they really, really, really feel it, So that was the blessing within itself, Now, we did have to explain when the kids go to daddy's house now. And so at first they were confused, like, but daddy, this is your house, you live here with us. And so then we had to, get to the tough things, and I let him spearhead that one. It's real. Oh yeah, very real. I've got to raise these kids. And for you, I know it's not like, this is torture for me to do this. These are my babies. No. I'm going to do whatever I have to do to make sure they get what they need. Absolutely. Does that include the willingness to work out whatever details are necessary between their father and yourself to make sure that you guys can have a good working relationship as parents for the sake of those kids? Oh my gosh, it is imperative. Mm-hmm. That's what I like to tell a lot of women and men. Like, you have to have that good relationship with them, no matter how you're feeling. Because there was times I was still hurting. Like, I didn't understand why this was happening, but the kids still needed their father. They need him in their lives. Yeah. And I had to put self aside. The moment I had my daughter first. The moment I had Madeline, it was no longer about me, my needs. It was out the door. It's about what's important for her. And then came along Mason. So I'll be mad, but they don't know it, like, here, I'll FaceTime. And some of my friends will be like, how do you do that? I'm like, what do you mean, how? It's important, and by the grace of God, because sometimes I didn't know how. Yeah. I didn't know where because I didn't have it. Yeah. I didn't have that strength. So it was him. I want to congratulate you, because I know a lot of single mothers and who have, they're so bitter that the children suffer. Yes. Because, the key to bitterness is being self-centered. Yes. And whenever you remain self-centered, now, we're going to deal with self-centeredness until the day we die. Oh, yeah. You'll wake up in the morning, the first thing you have to ask yourself is, where's self?
Oh, he's in the center again. Let me take you out of the center.
Yeah, that's big.
So what happens is when I recognize that self-centeredness is the master key to bitterness, offense, even hurt and pain, then I know I need to get myself out of the center and put them in the center.
Yeah,
and that's what you've done.
Absolutely. I like to call it keeping myself in check.
Yeah.
You have to put ego aside.
Yeah.
That's absolutely what I did. So, I was hurting, back then.
Yeah.
And, your first mind sometimes will be like, well, he hurt me and he did this, or he wouldn't do this if it was, the other way around, vice versa. It's not about that.
Yeah.
These kids didn't ask to be here. They're here. They're a blessing. Let's do what's best for them. Yeah, because
hurt people like to hurt people. And then you don't want to put the kids in the middle of all of everybody trying to hurt people. I mean, I really commend you because you've taken a stance to say, you know what, I'm not trying to make their father look bad.
No,
I'm not trying to play get back games, all that. These kids are too important to be put in the middle of a game between two hurt people.
Absolutely, two adults.
And I really I commend you on how you carry yourself with that. Let's talk a little bit more about the emotional, internal, everyday type of things you go through as you heal from hurt on one end. And as you make a commitment to be what you have to be as a parent to these kids on the other end, what are some of those struggles you deal with emotionally? Because I want the people that are watching at home, a mother who's single at home, sometimes we can get before people and we look pretty self-confident and I'm Superman.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Let them know the reality of what takes place between someone who's healing of hurt and at the same time they've got to be the parent to those kids.
Oh, you just have to. Oh my gosh, it's hard. Dealing with hurt, you're gonna be going through those feelings. You're gonna have that self-doubt. You're gonna sometimes think that, oh, why wasn't I good enough? And I want them to know that they are good enough, but what I had to find out is everything happens for a reason. And even though it hurts right now, there's a purpose for your pain, At that time, I did not see it, did not want it, and I tried to control it, but I couldn't. I just had to let go and let God take care of that. So you have to, you're going to go through that self-pity, you said it, bitterness, like all those emotions. But it's very important to have like-minded individuals around you, surrounding you, evenly yoked people,
What was the purpose you think of your pain?
Oh, wow. To tell the story and let women and men know that there's a reason, you're put here for a reason and for a purpose. And just to tell my story, I'm just like anybody else. It could happen. You could, like I said, I'm maneuvering in a space that I don't know of,
a new normal for you,
exactly.
Right?
My parents been married 44 years, and that was probably why I fought so hard to keep it together, to keep our relationship together. But, in the end, this is my reality, my new normal, and just to tell my story.
Has this allowed you to develop more confidence in who you are as a woman, as a mother, as an individual, as far as raising these kids and carrying on with your life?
Yeah, absolutely, because I knew I was strong already. My dad, made sure of that. My mother, she's such a class act. They made sure that I knew I was loved and you're beautiful, education is important, keep God first, all those things. But still, life happens, you get hurt. And it was a time I didn't think I would get up. And just the strength that I know I have now, oh my gosh, I'm like, you can't tell me nothing. I'm still living, I'm moving, I'm breathing. And I feel like I'm doing a great job as a mother and just being a good example, because that's so important to me. People can tell you, oh, they don't do that, but your kids are watching you.
Oh, yeah. Yes, they are.
They're watching.
What was your biggest fear as you face this new normal of being a parent?
My truth and being vulnerable, and maybe when the kids get old enough to read the whole story, just for them to be able to see all the what I put out there, and that was very hard, and I struggled. I wasn't going to do it. Like, I feel like it was the devil. Like, don't tell it. But I'm like, you know what? If my pain helps at least one person, then all of this wasn't in vain.
So you wrote a book. You're an author now.
Yes.
And the purpose for writing that book?
I was on a reality show called Atlanta Exes, and from that, I got so many emails, DMs, just them watching me and the way I maneuver, the way I move in life, because obviously we're both very public. He's extremely public, and everyone has their opinion. And how most celebrities handle situations and breakups, they'll get on Twitter and bash each other, and it seems to not care about what this is ultimately doing to their children. They just go off of self, how they feel, and they just bash one another. And for the world to see that that's not what I'm doing. I am not just saying I'm putting my kids first. No, I'm living putting my kids first. So with the fans witnessing that, they started emailing me and DMing me, and some even telling me that because of me, they're allowing their kid's father to be back in their kids' lives, some after 6 years. I'm like, okay, God, I hear you. Like, all right, let me get to writing, let me get to do this, because it's not about me.
Yeah.
It's not about me.
It's so much bigger than you as an individual.
Exactly.
And for you not to understand the importance of a father being a part of their lives would be extremely selfish, very damaging.
Absolutely.
And you would probably live with the regret and the guilt of, if I had to do it all over again, I would put myself outside the circle and make sure that their father could be a part of their lives.
Absolutely.
Because they get older, and they'll probably end up looking at you and blaming you for the whole thing.
Yes.
So what good is that?
No good at all.
You mentioned something about the consequences of a couple bashing one another and what that would do in the life of a child. And when you said that, I thought about, the several women who are watching this right now, who are in the very situation that you're saying they should not be in.
Right.
And they are fighting, they are hurting, they're keeping the kids away, they're having just an attitude all of the time, and the kids don't know what's going on. What do you think some of the damage that can occur emotionally in the life of a kid, and how it impacts how they grow up?
Oh my gosh. Just as far as their grades, their attitude, just their way of life, the quality of life when they get older. And most importantly, it's going to create a vicious cycle. If they see that, like I said, you could say all day, don't do this, but they're watching you. And, if that's how mommy or daddy's acting, we're the examples, they're going to act accordingly. They're going to do what their dad is doing. They're going to do what their mother is doing. So it's so, so important.
When you decided to write this book, how do your peers, how are they receiving the book you wrote? Because you're writing this book and you're kind of, you're telling on yourself. You're opening yourself up for everybody to see.
Yeah, some people was like, oh, you telling it all? This is a tell-all book. No, not at all. Like, I didn't tell 10% of, our personal life, But what I did tell, I told on me, guys get praised for, things that I've said in there. But the woman, and then they're looking at me like, oh, she's so classy. Yes, I am. But still, I'm human, and I'm living in the world today. And, at that time, I was at a place of just reaching and searching, and maybe I should do this, and going against values that are in me. And I know better, But I was just thinking, okay, well, let's just do this, keep this family together. And, at the time I thought it was right, so, and some would think that, like I was bashing or before they read it, but that's not the case. And once you look at it and read it, you're like, oh my God, this is empowering. And it is, uplifting, and just telling how she got through this hard time, and, setting goals to keep moving forward afterwards, and
it was real. And it was real.
It's very real. I felt it was very important to tell that, to get the point, to get my point across, that no matter what, the situation or how bad it hurts, you need to do what's right for your kids, co-parent properly. And, you don't have to be besties, but, let's just
That's a really good message, especially in the Black community.
Oh.
It's a really good message to say, look, we're not asking for you guys to be best friends, but what we're saying is it's very vital that we co-parent correctly so that we don't have to take turns on going down and bailing our kids out of the jail a little bit later on because we didn't do what we needed to do when we had the opportunity to do that. And I think that's a powerful, powerful message. Do you have hopes that in the future, that your future has someone that you can be equally yoked with?
Oh, yes. I know he's coming. So
my kids will have he's it. Coming, are you a bride? I felt that, my God. Right now. If he's coming, are you a bride in preparation?
I am.
So that you won't bring any luggage into the relationship?
Absolutely. I could sit on this couch right now and not worry about getting struck down. I think so, absolutely.
I can sit on the couch and not worry about nobody striking me down.
Let's get real quick. Absolutely. And some people wonder why it took me so long to start dating. Yeah. And that was why, because I wasn't ready then. I wasn't ready. It took me 2.5, almost 3 years. Yeah, well, honestly,
I'm getting used to being a parent and raising these kids, and now I'm thinking, well, because a lot of parents, single parents, especially mothers, think, well, I don't have time to date. I don't have time to hope that one day I can have someone in that's going to be a good image and a good model for my kids to follow, and that's unfortunate because I don't believe that life should have to stop and you have to live the rest of your life in misery. I believe in a God of restoration.
Oh, yes.
And I believe that God can restore everything that was lost, everything that was taken, and everything that was stolen.
Yes, I believe
in fact, I declare a sevenfold restoration over your life right now. Sevenfold restoration over your life right now.
I receive it.
And you know, the thing that really blesses me today is that it takes courage to do what you've done. It takes courage for you to be here on this show today to say, look, it was painful, it was terrible, it was awful, it was emotional.
Absolutely.
But I love my kids. Yes. I do what I got to do. I do what I need to do for them.
Yes, absolutely.
But I'm going to go a step further. I'm going to share what I've gone through emotionally. I'm going to share my pain and my hurts.
Very intimidating.
Yeah, yes. It's intimidating.
Oh, my gosh.
And the thing about it is that you had to, it's kind of like, you know, and this is something I can really relate to. Okay. The fact that people are saying all kinds of stuff.
Oh, my gosh.
And none of it's true. You wonder, where did you get that from?
Like, what?
And yet you chose to not even respond.
No, not at all.
What's wrong with you? Why don't you respond? And what about your reputation if you don't respond? You know, the thing I found out is, you know what, I'm just going to be a man of no reputation. Because when you have a reputation and something happens, you got to do something to fix it.
Exactly.
And if you have a reputation and it doesn't happen, you got to do something to make it good.
Yes.
But if you're a person with no reputation, you don't care what anybody says.
Right.
And you just go on and live a stress-free life, and they can just talk and say whatever they want to say.
I like to say my family, friends really know who I am, and God knows. That's all that matters, because people are going to have an opinion, and, you know, let your walk speak for itself.
The Bible says there's peace for the soul.
Oh, yes.
You know, and I want you to discover that peace in the midst of your storm today. And to do that, I've assembled a powerful resource package that I want to get into your hands and into your home today. Now, my announcer is coming to share more about this package with you, and I'll be right back.
Today, Creflo Dollar introduced you to Pastor Kim from the hit show Preachers of Atlanta. She's a domestic abuse survivor who has used her testimony to reach millions of people around the globe who need to be loved. Pastor Kim has also dedicated her life to serving those who are hurting through a movement called Conquering Hell in High Heels. Are you ready to experience in your life the same transformational power that God used to deliver Kim? Your past no longer has to define you. God's grace is bigger than anything you're facing or any mistakes you've made, and He wants to deliver you from the storms in your life so you can experience healing and restoration. Creflo Dollar has assembled a special collection of resources. Jesus is all you need to help you leave your troubled past behind and step into a new season of your life. When you call right now, you will receive Pastor Dollar's 3-CD collection titled Jesus Plus Nothing, which reveals why Jesus is all you need to be set free from the obstacles that stand in your way of a victorious and productive life. He's all you need to overcome the fear and shame of your past mistakes. And He is all you need to change the direction of your life and proclaim your new identity in Christ. Creflo also wants you to have a copy of his powerful 2-CD series, Winning in Warfare. In each of these messages, you will receive the tools you need to stand up to the attacks of the enemy and discover that with Jesus, you have the power to live your life like a champion. For your love gift of just $30 or more, the Jesus is All You Need collection will teach you to have the confidence in knowing that your past will not define your future and that your future is focused on fulfilling the purpose and plan God has for your life. But that's not all. If you call right now, you will also receive the full-length uncut DVD of today's show with Pastor Kim Jones-Pothier. What you witnessed was just a small portion of the complete interview, but the version you'll receive includes candid tips from Creflo and Pastor Kim on how to break the chains of fear and escape the consequences of your past by trusting Jesus as your source and setting your mind on receiving the blessings of God. Jesus is all you need. Call right now to get this exclusive television offer now. And remember, when you sow your tax-deductible love gift of $30 or more into the ministry of Creflo Dollar, you help make a difference in the lives of people in local communities and around the globe who are facing hardships and setbacks. It's because of your generosity and sacrificial gifts that Creflo and Taffy Dollar are able to reach those in need and share the good news of Jesus to those who so desperately need it. Be a part of sharing God's grace around the world by getting this power-packed collection of resources from Creflo Dollar. Don't wait another moment to begin experiencing your breakthrough. Get the Jesus is All You Need collection by calling or going online right now.
I'm so glad you were with us here today. Now, if you are a mom, and especially a single mom, then I hope you were encouraged and blessed by the real-life story you heard from Monyetta Shaw. Remember, you are never alone as long as God is your partner in this life. So take hold of that and let it begin to bless you in every area of your life. Look, I want to hear from you, so please stay connected with me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And remember, you can go to our website at yourworldwithcreflo.com to find out more information about today's program and other programs you may have missed. That's all the time we have for now. Remember, you are the righteousness of God, not because you are good, but because God is good. God bless you, and I'll see you next time here on Your World.
Thank you, partners and friends. Your love and financial support makes it possible to bring this message into billions of homes all across the globe.